You think just knowing what to do is enough? That once you learn the information, boom, you're set? Maybe you've read all the books, listened to all the podcasts, watched all the YouTube videos, and you're still wondering why you haven't hit your big goals. Let me tell you something. That's only half the battle. The other half, actually doing the work consistently, not just once, not just for a week, over and over and over again. And not just doing it blindly, but improving every time you do it. It's the difference between someone who says, I'll start tomorrow, and someone who says, I started yesterday and I'm still going. And the only way you actually live that out day after day is through one simple thing: accountability. I've fallen into this trap before. Every time in my life where I lacked accountability, when I didn't check in with anyone, when I didn't set any real meaningful stakes, it ended up with me stalling. No progress, stagnant, spinning my wheels. But when I did have accountability, whether it was me hiring a coach, or telling my friends to check in on me daily, or even setting non negotiable deadlines for myself, I produce massive results every single time. Most people assume success comes from some magical big win, or that certain people just get lucky. Wrong. Success is a bunch of tiny habits stacked over time that compound into huge breakthroughs. And let's be real, that doesn't happen by accident. You don't suddenly wake up 50 pounds lighter. You don't magically make your first million. It requires relentless consistency and an unbreakable system of accountability. So, what is accountability? A lot of people get this confused. Accountability is making a promise and keeping it. That's it. For example, if I say, I'm going to the gym 5 days a week, accountability is me actually stepping into the gym 5 days a week, no matter what. If I say, I'll track my business receipts every single week, accountability is me making sure I open up my Excel doc or QuickBooks every single week like clockwork. It's easy to think that knowing what to do, like reading the business book, watching the motivational video, is the big accomplishment. But guess what? If you do nothing after you learn, you just wasted that time. A year from now, if you look back at that goal setting moment, did it change your life? Probably not. The only thing that changes your life is what happens after you set the goal, the follow through. Now, a lot of people say, all you need is discipline. Yeah, discipline matters, but it's not the same as accountability. Discipline is doing a task consistently, no matter how you feel. Accountability is understanding the stakes involved, knowing why it matters, who's watching, and what you'll lose if you drop the ball. Discipline is action. Accountability is the why behind that action. When you have accountability, you elevate your discipline to a new level. You're not just checking a box. You're actually invested in the outcome. And that difference is what makes or breaks long-term success. Once you put accountability in place, like really put it in place, it becomes one of the most powerful tools you can ever have. Because accountability means you're telling yourself, I deserve more, and I'm willing to prove it to myself by consistently doing what I said I would do. Think about it. How good does it feel when someone else keeps a promise to you? When they show up on time, deliver what they said they would, or help you out exactly the way they promised. Now, imagine doing that for yourself every single day. It's unbelievably powerful. You start to trust yourself on a whole new level. You stop worrying about whether you'll fall off, because you know if you slip, you'll hold yourself to a higher standard. That's how momentum is built. People always talk about motivation. Motivation is great, but it fades. It's like a spark that can go out if you don't keep adding fuel. Accountability is that daily fuel. For example, when I lost 50 pounds in 3 months, you better believe it wasn't just motivation that got me to go to the gym every day. I didn't care if it was pouring rain, if it was snowing, if I had a rough day, if I was tired. If it was on the schedule, I did it because I deserved that workout. And I wasn't about to break my promise to myself. That's real accountability. And once you build it, you're pretty much unstoppable. So, how do you actually implement accountability? There are three main types: self accountability. This is where you hold yourself to a promise. Social accountability, when you have a friend, a coach, a mentor, or a community holding you accountable. Financial accountability. This is when you put money on the line, like betting on yourself or paying for a program that forces you to show up. Which one's best? The reality is it depends on you. Some people thrive with a community, others just need a personal system. But my favorite way is to stack these forms of accountability. When I was training hard, I had myself holding me accountable, so I tracked every workout, a trainer who was pushing me, who would check in if I missed a day, and a financial investment in my fitness journey, paying the trainer, paying for the quality membership at the gym, etc. And that stacking is game changing because it leaves no room for excuses. You have layers and layers of accountability, ensuring you get the work done. Once you get it, accountability is powerful. But how do you start? How do you move from this big idea into actually making it part of your daily life? Make it a lifestyle. Don't just set a random goal. Integrate it into your routine. For example, if you want to improve your health, pick one habit. I'll walk 30 minutes every morning right when I wake up. Track it. Use a habit tracker, a notes app on your phone, or even a sticky note. There's something about marking an X every day that keeps you honest. Start small. The big mistake is trying to do too many things at once. If you've never worked out before, don't start with a 2-hour workout plan. You'll hate it and you'll quit. Start with 15 minutes. Lock that in for a couple of weeks, then ramp up. Once it becomes a habit, a part of your identity, you're not forcing yourself to do it anymore. You just do it because it's what you do. Let's talk about the pitfalls people make when they try to hold themselves accountable. Setting unrealistic goals. If you're making $50,000 a year, don't start saying, I'm going to make $1 million next month. That's not a plan. That's a fantasy. Instead, figure out the process millionaires follow: time management, daily routines, networking, skill development, and hold yourself accountable to those inputs. Let the output take care of itself. Not tracking. If you don't measure it, you can't manage it. If you say, I'm going to eat healthy, but you never track your meals, you'll have no clue what healthy even means. Tracking keeps you honest. Allowing too many outs. It's never easy to negotiate with yourself. You say you'll walk every day, but you skip Monday because it's raining, Tuesday because you feel tired, Wednesday because you didn't have time, and before you know it, you haven't walked all week. So make fewer excuses possible. If it's raining, walk at home or do a quick body weight routine. If you have a headache, do a lighter workout, but do something. Missing once is inevitable. Missing twice in a row, that's a pattern. The worst accountability mistake is chasing outcomes instead of focusing on the process. You want to lose 50 pounds? Great. But if you focus purely on the number on the scale, you'll drive yourself crazy. Instead, focus on the daily workouts, the daily meals, the daily choices. Because if the process is nailed, the result is inevitable. Let me give you a quick example from my own life, because I want you to see how powerful this can be. I once had a habit of winging it with my finances. I'd make some sales, make some money, but I never tracked my expenses, never reviewed my numbers, and never set real financial goals. I was basically letting my business run on autopilot. Stupid, right? So I set up 2 levels of accountability. I started a weekly checklist. Every Friday at 3 p.m., I had to update my spreadsheet and see what happened that week. Income, expenses, what worked, what flopped. I told a friend who's obsessed with finances to text me every Friday night and ask, did you do your numbers? Guess what happened? Within a couple of months, my finances were tighter than ever. I found places to save money, ways to reinvest profits more strategically, and big holes I could plug. I could see exactly what was going on. That weekly accountability forced me to stop ignoring the data and start making real changes. My business started growing, not because I got some brand new idea, but because I implemented a system with accountability built in. So, enough talk, here's how you make it real, starting right now. Pick one small habit to focus on. Maybe it's drinking a gallon of water a day, walking 10 minutes a day, writing 300 words a day, or calling one sales lead a day. Whatever it is, just make it simple and clear. Track it daily. If you don't like apps, use a piece of paper. Put it on your fridge or next to your desk. Seeing that checklist every day is like having a little accountability partner living on your wall. Share it with at least one person in your life. Let them know exactly what you're doing and tell them you want them to check on you in a week. This adds a layer of social accountability. Now it's not just your eyes on this goal, it's someone else's. Do these three things immediately after this video. Don't just feel good about it. Do it. Because this moment of inspiration you feel right now won't last unless you anchor it with action. Look, I know how hard it can be to stay consistent, but I also know that if you get accountability dialed in, if you figure out how to really keep your promises to yourself, then you can accomplish anything. And I mean anything. So if you're serious about leveling up and finally staying accountable, hit that subscribe button. This channel is all about how to build real accountability systems, how to push through plateaus, and how to actually build the life you say you want. Now here's your final assignment. Drop a comment with one habit you're committing to right now. Then, and this is important, reply to someone else's comment. Encourage them, check in on them, maybe even exchange contact info. Because when we hold each other accountable, that's when everything changes. That's it for today. Now get out there, pick your habit, track it, and own it. Accountability is your secret weapon. It's time to use it right.